let the people out there know who you are?
Sure. Well, my name is Harrison Stafford. I'm known by many Rasta Elder as Professor from teaching the history of reggae music at a university in California, where I founded the group Groundation 20 years ago.
Okay.
We have 9 studio albums and toured around the world many times.
Woo! I like that. You know what? So, tell us a little something about Groundation and what that actually is.
Sure. Groundation is a very unique and particular and special sound in the world of reggae.
Yeah.
It is based in original one-drop music, like Bob Marley, Burning Spear, and it has a fusion with jazz elements.
Okay.
Polyrhythmic, so it's not necessarily in 4/4 timing. It's also not staying in one key center, harmonically it moves.
Yeah.
Long through composed songs, long improvised solos by the musicians. So that really gives an identifiable sound that is Groundation.
Definitely. I'm liking the song at the minute, Lion in Man.
Lion and Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? You gotta be firm in life.
Definitely. So tell us a little something about that, because that's the one I'm liking a lot at the minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. Life has its challenges, it has ups and downs, and for myself, as a parent and as a father, and as a human being, it's good to be disciplined, it's good to be consistent in who you are.
Yeah.
No matter how times change and things change, you gotta be strong and firm on the principles of peace and love and unity for all people.
Definitely. So, how did you come up, or whoever came up with the idea of bringing jazz and reggae together?
Well, that's a part of me, growing up as a kid. My father was a jazz piano player.
Wow.
Jazz piano.
Yeah.
My grandfather played saxophone. So the first music in my house that I heard was Duke Ellington and John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk.
Okay.
And from there, my older brother started listening to reggae music at a very young age. So I was maybe 7 or 8 years old when I first heard Bob Marley's Rastaman Vibration.
Okay, yeah.
And it captured me. I had to have every Bob Marley, every album, every Burning Spear, Peter Tosh. When I was 10 years old, I was going to class and speaking about Rastafari, and the kids would make fun of me. And
yeah.
The theme of my bar mitzvah when I was 13 was Jamaica.
Wow.
So the culture and the music really took my spirit.
Definitely. So you spoke a little bit just a minute ago about being a professor. Tell us something about that.
Yeah, well, it was the first ever drummer who played with Groundation. And he was like, man, you know so much about the history and how the music developed and the philosophy of Rastafari and all these things. Man, you got to teach a course. You have to, talk to the university and whatnot. And I said, hey, that's not a bad idea. I love reggae. And the idea of teaching it is great because unlike jazz or rock or hip-hop, it is, a chronological story of a musical development.
Yeah.
Reggae music has that, but reggae music also has this social and political impact of the Rastafari movement.
Definitely.
And you begin to be able to really talk about bigger things than just the development of a music because of that. So the history of reggae music was something that I developed over a 2-year period, and the university finally said, you know what, this course is worthwhile. You definitely have the credentials to teach it. We're going to start it this semester.
Wow, and how is that going?
The last time I taught it was 2001.
Wow.
Once Groundation became so busy and things, it was not possible to be there for the semester.
Yeah.
So I've done lectures here and there around the U.S. and in Europe as well, but to be there for a whole semester university is not possible.
Wow. But at least you're doing it, or you had done it, so it impacts in that way.
Yeah, and it's always something that I could do in the future.
Yeah, man, of course.
And it's what also inspired me after teaching the course to do the documentary film Holding On to Jah.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was a whole other project that took 17 years to produce in Jamaica.
Wow. I feel like I could talk to you for hours and hours.
There's a lot of work there, a lot of history.
Definitely. So I understand that Groundation has a new album coming out.
It just came out last week, The Next Generation.
Okay, so tell us something about that and why that particular title for it?
Well, a number of things. One, we're coming with a whole fresh lineup, new musicians. This is the next generation Groundation.
Wow.
Through the years, Groundation's had 20 or 30 different musicians on the road touring as the ensemble. But this was a need. There was a period of break, about 3 years, from 2015 till now, where I was trying to work out with the remaining 2 original members. But, this wasn't necessarily their musical mission. And everybody has to do their own path in life.
Yeah.
And they chose to do other things, and that's great. And the only way for Groundation to continue was a new ensemble, hence the next generation.
Wow.
And also the music itself. The previous Groundation album was called A Miracle, and that was dedicated to the female, the Empress, the mother of creation. And so, from the mother and father comes the child, comes the next generation. So all of the songs on this album is talking about the tools, talking about what we want to pass on to our children to give them a prosperous and a beautiful future. So what's going to give them hope? What's going to give them strength?
Yeah.
Also songs that are warning songs like fossil fuels, talking about things that society is doing that is wrong, that we have to stop doing and change in order for us to have a foreseeable future for our children. So that's what the next generation is. It's got 2 meanings.
Wow. It's an amazing history or backing to that particular title.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
A lot of layers.
Definitely. So what's it like working in a band?
You gotta be cool. You gotta be respectful of people.
Yeah.
You also have to, take charge and be the leader, so that there's no real ambiguity as to what the decisions are and who's making the decision and how it happens, or else a band can be in limbo. So, it makes it so you really get to know people and how to really come together in a positive way in the midst of no sleep or no food and difficult traveling and all this type of stuff that goes on in a band.
Yeah.
It's not easy to keep the positive energy on stage in the mix of going through all of these challenges and delivering the message.
Definitely.
So it gives you a good overview of really how to deal and how to work with people.
Oh, definitely. So for yourself, you're the lead singer and the guitarist for the group, I believe.
Right? Yes, that is true.
That's good. So how do you guys come up with your lyrics or your backing music for a particular song? Do you freestyle it or write it down?
Well, a number of things. I mean, as I'm writing the songs, it's just basically a lot of it is just me and my acoustic guitar and just strumming out some chords, working on some melodies, and recording everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it all happens at once. Wow. Songs like Smile and these things is just something that I just played and recorded and wrote down and learned and later wrote the arrangement and composition for the band to really understand what I was doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the chords, the melodies, the lyrics all happen at the same time.
Okay, wow. So, as you said, you've toured, you've done a lot of different countries with the band in particular, but how does it differ? How does reggae music for you differ from each place that you go to, or does it not differ?
Reggae doesn't differ too much because it really brings together like-minded people who, you rarely find right-wing conservative people who, don't respect other cultures and other things. I mean, reggae music is about unity and love. Yeah. It's about harmony and coming together, and I think most people who come to reggae, who listen to reggae, it touched them because it's really bringing together all walks of life.
Definitely.
It's about the unity, and it's about the foundation principles of Marcus Garvey, which is one aim, one destiny, one family, one heart, one love. Everybody is together in this planet.
Yeah. For real, man. Definitely. So, for the young people and the young listeners out there, what would you say to them who want to get into music?
Well, I mean, if you want to get into reggae music or jazz music, for that matter, don't be thinking that you're going to be a superstar and a millionaire and a this and that. If you have visions of doing that, you should play pop music and play a different style.
Okay.
Because reggae music is the struggle towards equal rights and justice that we're very far from.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of work to do. So it's a very serious music. That's how I treat it.
Yeah.
When reggae music first spoke to me, you know, those artists that I had mentioned before, as well as, you know, Is Vibration and Ijaman and Pablo Moses and the Congos, Abyssinians, you know, it's really a knowledge that we are just carrying on the message, and we hope to carry it on until our final day on this planet. Definitely. Then we pass it on to the next generation to pick up and keep on, you know, that spirit, keep on that burning flame that out of the darkness must come the light. And that is something that you have to be focused on when it comes to reggae. The bigger picture, you know, it's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about everybody, and it's about the future. That's reggae.
Definitely. For real, mate. Would you be up for doing like a little bit for the listeners out there? Singing a little bit?
Whoa! Babylon ruling, Babylon ruling. This is Groundation, yeah? Arawak. Yeah, keep the fire blazing.
Yeah. I love that, man. For real. So have you got any events coming up?
Yeah, we fly out tomorrow. We head to Europe. Oh. The first concert is way out in Reunion Island and Mauritius Island.
Okay.
And we'll be playing through France, Switzerland, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany. We'll be playing through all these countries over the next 4 weeks.
Wow.
And then after that, we go to South America, Brazil, and Argentina, and, you know, new albums. So it's going to take us around the world.
Yeah, you need to come to the UK, man.
Okay, man, we were just there.
What?
Yes, man, we just played in August. We were just there at the Islington O2.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
We were just there no more than a month ago.
Wow.
And we played Boomtown also.
Oh, okay. So when are you planning on coming back?
I believe it's gonna be not until April.
Oh, okay. Well, when you're in the UK, man, link up for definite.
Yeah, I have to. I give thanks for you and the support and keeping that message and spreading that message. And yeah, it'd be great one day to shake your hand and share some musical vibes.
I feel like I can definitely get to know a bit more about you, and obviously you can get to know a bit more about me, for real.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah, man, I've enjoyed having this conversation. You seem like
Give thanks.
It seems very interesting. You seem like a very interesting character. For real.
Yeah. So people say, yeah, we all are.
Yeah, man, of course. So, is there any last words that you want to say to the listeners out there?
No, just keep on the good things. Keep that good spirit. I know life seems challenging and it seems hard right now.
Yeah.
But never give up. Never give up. You never know what tomorrow may bring. So don't give up.
Definitely. So where can people find Groundation's music and anything else that you're up to?
Yeah, I mean, the best way to stay connected still is groundation.com.
Okay.
That's the best spot. Yep.
For real. I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to allow us to have this interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you know it. It's my pleasure and my honor.
Give thanks, and I hope that we can continue this conversation sometime.
Yeah, we will.
Definitely. Give thanks for the conversation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, have a great evening out there. Get a good rest, all right?
You too. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bless. Bye-bye.